Welcome to another illustration on the simple moving average method. So here we are going to move in 4. Using moving average method, calculate 4 yearly moving averages from the following data. Calculate 4 yearly moving average from the following data. So we have the month and we have the sales. For the first month, we have 100, 120, 130, 150, 140, 160, and 170. Okay. And take note that we are dealing with an even number. So at the end, we have to center the averages. So we have 4 period moving average and 4 period centered moving averages. So here we are also going to move in 4. So for the first 4, that's from 100 to 150. And we also find the average 100 plus 120 plus 130 plus 150, also giving us 500. And the average lies in between the February and March, also not relating to a particular period. So we have 125. Then as we move, we drop the first one and add a new one. So next one is going to be from 120 to 140. So 120 plus 130 plus 150 plus 140. Then the average becomes 135. Also between March and April, 135. The next one is from 130 to 160. So 130 plus 150 plus 140 plus 160. 145, 145. Then lastly, we have from 150 to 170. So 150 plus 140 plus 160 plus 170. Average is 155. 155. You could see that these values don't fall on a particular period, so there is the need for us to center them. Also, take note that for the first 2 periods, we also have nothing here. So this one is our trend, basically our trend values. Our trend values. Then, when we want to find the center for any order of even number, we move in 2. So for the first one is 125 plus 135. Then we find the average, that's divided by 2. 125 and 135 divided by 2, we are getting 130. And the 130 falls between this one and it relates to the period March. So we have 130. Then the next one too is 135 and 145, giving us 280. The average is giving us 140. Also on April, 140. The next one, that's the last one, is 145 and 155, giving us 300. And the average is 150. That's also on May. meaning that for the last 2 months, that's June and July, we also have no trend values. So that's one disadvantage of using the moving average. For the extreme values or for the extreme month, we don't have what any values at the extreme what ends. Okay. So with all what we've done, especially using the even numbers to move, to find the moving or to find the trend, there's also another way to find these values, to find these values, to find this value. So let's use the other way. So alternatively, if you want to find this trend value, say that's a 130 to 150, you can use another way. So assuming we have the month here, we have our sales figures here. So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. So for the first, we have 100, 120, 130, 100, 120, 130, 150, 140, 150, 140, 160, 170, 160, 170. So the next thing, alternative, you have to find the 4 period moving total. 4 period moving total. So we take the first four. That's from 100 plus 120 plus 130 plus 150. We are getting 500. It also lies between these ones, 500. The next one is we drop this first one, that's 100, and pick a new one. So you're also going to start from 120 to 140. So 120 plus 130 plus 150 plus 140, giving us 500. Also lies here between March and April, 540. The next one will be from 300 to 160, 300 to 160, 130 to 160. So 130 plus 150 plus 140 plus 160, giving us 580. Then lastly, we have from 150 to 170, 150 plus 140 plus 160 and 170, giving us 620. Also lies here, 620. Good. The next thing we are going to do is to find 4 period centered moving total. 4 period centered moving total. 4 period centered moving total. So this total we have here, we are going to move in twos, and we are still going to find the what? The totals. But here we are going to center the total we are going to get. So the first one is 500 and 540, which is giving us 1040. So in between the 500 and the 540, we have a month there. That's March. So this one corresponds to the month of March, 1040. That's it for the first two. All right. So let us move on. We're also going to pick the next one. That's 540 and 580. We're also getting 1120. Then lastly, 580 and 620. Also corresponding to the month of May, 1200. So when we are done, we can now find are actual trend values. That's for period centered moving average. How do you find a 4 period centered moving average? Take note that here we moved in 4. We added 4 here to find the 500. But here, even though it's 4, but ideally we moved in 2 here. So 4 times 2. So here is basically 4, and here we move in 2. So when you multiply the 2, you're getting what? 8. So to get the trend values as we've gotten here, that's here, we need to divide these figures by 8. So let's divide and see whether we are going to get the same values over here. So we have 1040 divided by 8, which is giving us 130. We have 130 here. 1120 divided by 8 is giving us 140. Then lastly, 1200 divided by 8, 150. So you see we are getting the same thing here. Okay. So also, even if we are to move in 2, let's assume that we moved here was 2 rather, so 2 period moving total. Here is going to be what? 2 period center moving total. So basically we move 2 here, we also move 2 here. So at the end we are going to divide whatever figure we get here by what? By 4 here. So try it with the previous example we solved in our previous video. Take note, it only works for the even numbers. For odd numbers, we have no problem with the word centering. We use this formula when we have what? Even order of moving.